Yantah Parishyamabhachamimam Prasuptam Sanjeevayatthikilashaktidarasvadhamna Anyamschahastacharanash-shravanatpakadin Pranam Namo Bhagavate Purusaya Tubhyam Yam Gurum Hisvayam Satyaha Prajna Bhakti Vinitayaha Vihittischa Pratanityam Tam Gurum Pranamamyaham Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. 83. Janamritiyutanam sevaya devatanam na bhavati sukhaleshaha samshayo nasti tatra aganim amritarupam sambamisham bhajante yeha paramasaukyam tehanya labhante Shivadava parijaya sannidhanaya gaurya bhavamama gunadhurya buddhikanyam pradasye Sakala bhuvana bandho sachidananda sindho sadaya hridaya gehe sarvada samvasatvam Jaradhimatanajaksho naiva patalabhedi nacha vanamrigayayam naiva lubdhah praveenaha Asana kusuma bhusha vastramukhyam saparyam Kathaya kathamaham te kalpayani indumaule Puja dravya samriddhayo vilishtaha Pujam katham kurmahe Pakshitvam nacha vakitvam apina Praptam maya durlabham Jane mastakamandhivivallavamuma Jane nateham vibho Najyatam hi pitamahena harina Tatvena tadrupina Asanam gadalam phanikalapaha Vasanam charmajavahanam mahokshaha Mamadasyasi kim kimastikam bho Tava padambuja bhakti meva dehi I completed up to that. Tava padambuja bhakti meva dehi Asanam gadalam pani kalapaha. It's a very interesting verse. Your food is only poison, your ornament is only snake, and your garment is only the charma. So this being the case, what can I offer you? Tava padambuja bhakti meva dehi. Okay. And what can you give me also? So this is an interesting way of expressing the bhakti. Now, next verse 88. Yada kritam bho nichisetu bandhanaha Yada kritam bho nichisetu bandhanaha Yada kritam bho nichisetu bandhanaha Karasthaladhah kritaparvatadhipaha Karasthaladhah kritaparvatadhipaha Karasthaladhah kritaparvatadhipaha Bhavani te langhita padmasambhavaha Bhavani te langhita padmasambhavaha Bhavani te langhita padmasambhavaha Tada shivarchastava bhavanakshamaha Tada shivarchastava bhavanakshamaha Tada Shivarchastava Bhavanakshamaha. So yada tada. He says, when this happens, then this can happen. Tada Shivarchastava Bhavanakshamaha. So there could be a doubt here. How do we split this? Archa, suppose you take, the plural will be archaha. Right? So you can split as Shivarchaha, then Tava Bhavanakshamaha. This is a possibility. There is nothing wrong grammatically. But then that doesn't actually fit in. So you have to take the whole thing as a compound here. Which as a compound? Archastava Bhavanakshamaha. Tada He Shiva. He Shiva. This is the addressing word. He Shiva. Tada Archastava Bhavanakshamaha. So Archa is Archanam. Archanam is offering flowers and so on and so forth. So what we normally do in our pujas is called Archanam. So Archanam, the second word is Stavaha. Stavaha means Stuti, Stotram. Rendering verses like Shiva Panchakara Stotram, Sivanandalahari and so on and so forth. So that is Stavaha. Then the third is Bhavanam. Bhavanam essentially means Dhyanam here, contemplating. Tada Shivarchastava Bhavanakshamaha. So Archacha, Stavascha, Bhavanancha. So you have to first make a compound. Archastava Bhavanani. Teshu aham kshamaha, aham samarthaha. So then only will I become qualified to do this. Tada means then. So kada, so that is being described in the other 3 quarters of the verse. Yada etat tada aham kshamaha. Then I will be qualified. So yada, that is where it begins with. Yada Kritambho Nidhisetu Bandhanaha. It's an interesting verse in the sense that he is talking of 3 modes of worshipping. See, there are several modes of worshipping, right? So in the Bhagavata, there are several modes listed. So Navavidha Bhakti, it is. So among the Navavidha Bhakti, so Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam, etc. will be listed. So here he is basically listing Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam. Okay. So here Archanam is one thing. Then Stavaha is another form. See, for Archanam to be done, you need to have some various flowers and so on and so forth. So various other things have to be considered. As far as Stavaha is concerned, so you don't need anything. If you have committed some verses to memory, see whether you are bathing, see whether you are walking, see whether you are roaming around. So you can always driving, you can always keep chanting those verses. So sometimes loudly, sometimes in your own mind. So this is a possibility. So Stavanam is a much easier mode. So Stavanam also not possible, then I can do Bhavanam, suppose somebody says. Bhavanam is Dhyanam. Okay. So you don't even need to commit verses to memory. You can do Dhyanam. But then the problem is, that is the most difficult thing. Chanchalam himana Krishna pramasi balavadridham. So Bhavanam is the toughest thing. Though you don't require anything, Here at least you need to collect certain things. Here at least you need to memorize something, or at least you need a book, whatever. Bhavanam, nothing is required. You may think so, but that is the most difficult part. Therefore, people come back this way. If Bhavanam is more difficult, therefore at least I will do Stavanam. Understand? That is why people have created. If you cannot think, focus your mind, then at least by understanding the meaning, recalling the meaning when you chant, you can at least bring your attention to this. That is also difficult for me. Then at least you do this, go and pluck the flowers, go and do something. Archana, that is the most easiest thing. Okay? So, in order to bring in more and more indriyas into the activity that you are performing, so you start with Archana. It may go to Stavaha at a later stage. Then it may go to Bhavana. Now, the three episodes that are connected here with these three activities is what is very interesting in this verse. Yada kritam bho nidhi setu bandhanaha. Setu bandhanaha. Setu bandhanam, setu bandhanam. Correct? Or setoho bandhanam. You can just say. Setoho bandhanam, setu bandhanam. Means building the bridge. Building the bridge where? See, so here he says, Ambonidhi. Ambonidhau setu bandhanam. Setu who? What do you understand by setu?
Bridge.
Bridge. What does it mean?
Which
Bridge is one thing. So, what do you call dam as? Dam. Dam is also called setu. You understand? So, that which does not allow the water to pass, it is also setu. In fact, what was built by Rama is setu only. So, setu there, you keep on throwing the stones. They will all pile up. The water will be stopped. The big dams that are being constructed is to just arrest the flow of the water. Okay? So that is also called the setu. Okay? So in the other sense, I mean, you put some things. Okay? So the crossing is also setu. There the pillars, etc., they arrest the water at least locally. That is also called setu. There are two meanings now. Anyway, now the setu bandhanam which was done, see, was not by erecting pillars or putting some. So that setu that we discuss in Ramayana is complete bridge where the water from this side will not go to that side. So it is complete arresting the flow. So that setu bandha karta, though various people may be participating in that. So the primary person for whom it was built is Rama. Therefore, Rama is described here. Ambho nidhi setu bandhanaha. Ambho nidhau setu bandhanam kritam yena saha. Understand? Ambho nidhau setu bandhanam yena kritam saha ambho nidhi setu bandhanaha. So he is Rama. So if I were to become Rama, if I were to become, where is that? So that Bhavani, understand? The third quarter, the first word is Bhavani. Yadyaham evam Bhavani. Yadi aham. If I were to become the one who constructed setu across the ocean, okay, then tada archanakshamaha. That is how you have to take. So it seems that the Acharya here has recounted 3 different episodes, and then he seems to have employed three different modes of worship which was performed by these three people. Understand? So yada kritamho nidhi. So usually we use the word respectively. So respectively you can take the three things. Okay. Otherwise there is no need for using three words in the last quarter. Exactly three words and in the same sequence. Okay. So there is the story of Rama performing Shiva Puja before crossing this ocean, before the Setu was constructed. Okay. That is why we have this place called Rameshwara. Rameshwara, the deity is called Rameshwara. So there the word Rameshwara is to be derived as Ramasya Ishvaraha. Rameshwara. Okay. So Ramena Pujitaha Ishvaraha Rameshwaraha. Either you can take it as Samadhyama Padarupi or Tatpurusha. Now this phrase Kritam Bho Nidhi Setu Bandhanaha refers to this Rama. So Rama did Archana of Parameshwara before constructing this. So now he is saying, if I were to become Rama, then maybe I can perform this Archana. One aspect. The second aspect is Karasthaladhaha Krita Parvatadhipaha. This is another interesting episode. The episode is Karasthaladha Krita Parvatadhipaha. This Parvatadhipa here should be taken as Sahyadri or Vindhya Parvata. So it should not be considered as Himalaya. Okay. So that Himalaya that is generally described as the Nagadhirajaha. Where is it?
Kumarasambhava.
What is the word?
Astutyarasyam.
Astyuttarasyam.
Astutyarasyam.
Astyuttarasyam.
Astyuttarasyam Dishidevatatma Himalaya Nama.
Himalayo Nama Nagadhirajaha. This is how the Kavya begins. Astyuttarasyam Dishidevatatma Himalayo Nama Nagadhirajaha. So he is Adhiraja. See, we have the various kings. There are various kings. So king of the kings. So that is Nagadhirajaha. Nagaha is mountain. Nagachati iti Nagaha. Any small hillock, you can call it as Nagaha. Now this Nagaha, Rajaha, you can think of bigger mountains. Okay, bigger mountain. This fellow is a king sometimes in his own family. Okay, some people can be considering themselves as kings in some small circle. There is one place called king circle. So in some small circle, so we can think of kings. See, that is why we say he's a nice person. See, Swagrihe Pujyate Murkhaha. Tell.
Swagrihe Pujyate Murkhaha.
Swagrihe Pujyate Murkhaha.
Swagrihe
Pujyate
Murkhaha.
Swagrame Pujyate Prabhuhu.
Swagrame.
Swagrame Pujyate Prabhuhu. Swagrame Pujyate Prabhuhu. Swadeshe Pujyate Raja.
Swadeshe Pujyate Raja.
Swadeshe Pujyate Raja. Vidwan Sarvatra Pujyate.
Vidwan Sarvatra Pujyate. Vidwan Sarvatra Pujyate.
He may be a fool, but he may have to be respected. in his own house. I have seen some people. So respected means you have to listen to him, otherwise you will be in trouble. Understand? So, anyway, Swagrihe Pujyate Murkhaha. Even if he is a fool. Then Swagrame Pujyate Prabhu. Okay? So there will be a village. So means Dhanika is the richest person there. So that fellow will be treated with great respect. Swagrame Pujyate Prabhu. Then in the entire boundary, Swadeshe Pujyate Raja. Okay. Then Vidwan Sarvatra Pujyate. Now here we come to this. Parvatadhipaha. So what Parvatadhipaha? This Parvatadhipaha here refers to this Vindhyachala. Okay, Western Ghats. So Sahyadri sometimes it is called. So there is an interesting episode which you find in Puranas as well as in some other interesting texts. That this mountain, this Sakhya Parvata, this is an interesting thing. See whether it is completely true or not, that doesn't matter. But this definitely seems to have its basis on the observation. Now this observation could be of various types. So here the description that we find in the Puranas is, so this mountain was just rising. So that you know why is it happening? How does mountain get formed first of all? Mountain what? No. See, there is something which will be thrown from inside the earth. Okay? So that thing, so it sort of cools down at some point of time and then it becomes a huge pile. So therefore it is mountain. Okay? So the kind of material that is thrown from inside, so makes the mountain contain different kinds of ores. Anyway, so this is mountain formation. Now there is a possibility that in some places it is slowly coming up. And this can be sometimes due to the tectonic plate movements. That is a different kind of rise. But maybe even in Japan there could be some volcanoes. So there will be some burst. Okay. And then, so that will cool down. So it will rise to some extent. Once again there can be some other burst. Okay. It can keep rising. And it can also keep oscillating. Because of this, see, some people climbed to see this. Okay, volcanic places. Suddenly there will be some tremble. Right? Okay. Now a poet brilliantly describes this. Okay. This trembling motion of the mountain. And this Agastya, so this sage Agastya seems to have pressed it to stop growth. So this is a kind of episode that we have, interesting episode. And this has been so brilliantly described in a text called Brihat Samhita. See? So there are various other descriptions in Puranas as well. But in Brihat Samhita, the description is something which is so outstanding. Maybe I just give you that this is something which is worth knowing. I will just say, repeat, and I will not explain that in detail, but I wanted to just bring it to the attention of people to see how people are so graphically describing, even in a text like Brihat Samhita, like a kavya, they will make it a kavya. I will give you the summary of this 1/4 of the verse. Normally, the verses will have short number of syllables, 8 syllables, 11 syllables, 12 syllables. Here in Sivanandalahari, we had commenced with some 17 syllables, Shikharini. Then somewhere he employed 19 syllables, Shardula Vikridita. There are many other things which are smaller. He has done that. So up to 19 he has gone. But this poet wanted to describe one thing in one verse. Therefore, he chose a very, very long meter. And anything that is beyond 26, if I remember right, is called Dandaka. Okay? So there is Shamala Dandakam and so on. So there is one Dandaka here. This Dandaka is called Samudra Dandaka. And what he is describing is Agastya Chara. This is a text on astrology. And in the text on astrology, he brings in a beautiful description of this story. Okay? The story of Agastya pressing this mountain. Before describing this Agastya Chara, he describes what was done by Agastya in a very poetic way. And then the one who suppressed the growth of this mountain, his chara is going to be described. It is like a puzzle, he presents it. Okay? I just tell you, repeat, okay? Just for fun. Dinakara Rathamarga Vichittaye
Dinakara Rathamarga Vichittaye
Dinakara Rathamarga Vichittaye Abhyudyatam. The description here is the one who kept on rising and thereby preventing the path of the sun. Means, so it is, if you keep on rising, then what happens is the amount of sunlight that you will get keep decreasing. It is not that it is really preventing. It is a poetic way of saying. Dinakara Ratha. Understand? So Dinakara's marga. So if it keeps on going, then it may happen that the path of the sun will be interrupted. See, Dinakara Ratha marga vichittaye bhyudyatam. The first description. Then we have a very, very long compound. Yachalachringa, 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 Vibhranta Vidyadharam Savasakta, Vibhranta Vidyadharam Savasakta, Vibhranta Vidyadharam Savasakta, Priyavyagradatanka Dehavalamba. Priyavyagra Priyavyagra Dattanka Dehavalamba Ambaratyuchrita Uddhuyamana Dvajai Sevitam Uddhuyamana Dvajai Sevitam Uddhuyamana Dvajai Sevitam. The description of the Parvata. I'll tell you, I just read this. See, Yachalachringanga Vibhranta Vidyadharam Savasakta Priyavyagradattanka Dehavalambam Bharatuchrito Dhuyamanadvajai Sevitam. This is a Dandaka, beautiful Dandaka. Anyway, so here what he is saying is, Yet Chalachringa. Chalat means that which is in motion. I just told you. So suppose the Parvata is growing, imagine. So then there will be some vibrations. So as a result, what happens is those who are dwelling there will be terrified. Right? So those who are dwelling there is Vidyadhara. There are some apsaras who are just staying there. That's what he is saying. Vidyadhara, Vibhranta Vidyadhara. They are all just wondering what is happening. As a result, so it is a poetic way of describing. So these people, they are scared and therefore they go and try to embrace their spouses. And because of this trembling, there is also a huge wind which is flowing. And as a result of that, he says, see, the sari that they were wearing, they were just flying. Okay, one part of that. So then the poet says, see, that mountain on which there were so many flags. These flags are none other than the pieces of the saris which were just okay, taken by the wind. And so this is the kind of description that he goes on. This is a very beautiful poetic description. After saying all this, so towards the end, see, whatever I just said is only 1/4 of the verse. One quarter of the verse has some 57 syllables. See? So we normally come across 8 syllable verse, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara. Each quarter will have 8 syllables. Here it has 57 syllables per quarter. Anyway, the last part goes like this. See, Vindhyastambha. Vindhya is the name of the mountain. Okay. Vindhyamastambhayat. 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 Yascha tasyodaya shruyatam. Yascha tasyodaya shruyatam. Yascha tasyodaya shruyatam. Vindhyamastambhayat yascha tasyodaya shruyatam. See, that is how it goes. See, Vindhyam astambhayat. See, the one who made the Vindhya not rise. Stamped. Vindhyam astambhayat yaha. Yaha means that Agastya. Tasya udayaha. Tasya udaya shruyatam. I am going to describe the Agastya's udayachara. Okay, that is the context in which it appears. Anyway, the point I wanted to convey here was, though Bhagavad-pada does not mention the name, so this episode is something which is known in some Puranas and it has even appeared in Brihad Samhita. Okay. So here, see, Karataladhas, Karataladhah, Krita, Karatala, Karasthaladhah, Krita Parvatadhipaha. Parvatanam Adhipaha here refers to the Vindhya Parvata. So Karatala Adhastha. Okay, so the one who sort of suppressed its growth by placing his hand on the top. See, Karatala Karasthaladhah Krita Parvatadhipaha. So who did this? This is Agastya. How do we come to this conclusion? So there are a few other places also where you find this Agastya is also described as Kumbha Sambhava. Is the one who came from the pot, Kumbha Sambhava, Agastya. So you have this famous set of verses which is called Panchakshari Stotram. So where you find Vasishtha Kumbhodbhava Gautamarya. Repeat. Vasishtha Kumbhodbhava Gautamarya. Vasishtha Kumbhodbhava Gautamarya. Munindra Devarchita Shekharaya. Munindra Devarchita Shekharaya. Munindra Devarchita Shekharaya. See, the Shiva Panchakshari Stotra, the fourth verse is like this. It starts with Va. See, Kumbhodbhava is someone who is declared to be praising this. So what we can think of is, this Vasishtha gained the power, okay, to suppress the growth of this through Shiva's stava. That is how you can map this stava here. Understand? So, Karasthaladhah Krita Parvatadhipaha. So, the one who was able to suppress the growth of the mountain, so he is Agastya. And this Agastya did this stava, like Rama doing the archa. Okay, you can map that with this. So how do we come to know of this? Because there are some descriptions in Puranas and even in this Stotra, the Vasishtha was praising, Kumbha Sambhava was praising. Okay, this Kumbha Sambhava refers to Agastya. Okay, Karasthaladhah Krita Parvatadhipaha. Now we go to the third quarter. The third quarter of the verse says, Bhavanite Langhita Padma Sambhavaha. Bhavanite Langhita Padma Sambhavaha. So here, the third person described is by the phrase Langhita Padma Sambhavaha. Padma Sambhava? Who?
Brahma.
Brahma, correct. See, Padma Sambhavaha. The one who is born of lotus, something. One who is. Now, Langhitaha Padma Sambhavaha Yena Saha. That is how you have to get the samasa here. Okay? Langhitaha Padma Sambhavaha Yena Saha. Right? So, Langhitaha means the one who has surpassed, one who has crossed, one who has surpassed. Langhitam normally means crossing over. So, this crossing over can be considered as surpassing here. Now, who has surpassed Brahma? Whom is Acharya referring to here? So, if we look back again to the Puranas, you have the story of these two people who is Brahma and Vishnu. Okay, that has been alluded to in some of the earlier verses also in the Sivanandalahari. So, Vishnu going up and Brahma going down to see the Vishwarupa. Now, both of them were going to see. Ultimately, both of them failed. Okay, to see that head and the toe. But then Brahma came and then he tried to fool Shiva by saying, I have seen. Okay, that is why we have this episode of one of the head being clipped off. So, because of lying. Now you see, on the other hand, Vishnu admitted. That is how the story goes. It is because of this reason he is considered to be Langhitaha. He tried to lie, whereas he admitted the truth. So the admission of truth, okay, gives a higher pedestal of Vishnu over Brahma. Okay, so that is why Acharya is using the phrase Langhita Padma Sambhavaha. Langhitaha Padma Sambhavaha Yena Saha. Now, you look at the third thing that is employed in the fourth quarter. Bhavanam. This Bhavanam is just thinking of. Understand? Jnana. Now, think of what would have been the thought in the mind of Vishnu when he wanted to see the head. He will always be thinking of head. I have to see head. Right? See, our own bhavanam, if you are expecting some fellow, anybody who comes will look like that fellow. Right? So, bhavanam, any bhavanam that you have, see, you will become one with that. So now when the Vishnu wanted to go up, okay, he will always be thinking of Shiva. You understand? So, no. So Vishnu went up, down. What is that? He went down. That is the story. Okay. Anyway, so I messed up. I don't know. So whatever it is. So Vishnu went down and Brahma went up. Okay, very good. Okay. So he admitted anyway, so that very good, thanks Arthur. So he just admitted. This admission makes him so superior. Okay. Langhita Padma Sambhavaha. He always thought of this. Okay, now come to this verse. Bhavani te aham te te Archastava bhavana kshamaha bhavani. Bhavani means bhaveyam. That is how we have to understand that. Understand? So here he is saying, Yada. See, if I were to become any one of them, then I will be able to do this archa, stava and bhavanam. So this is what he is trying to say. This Bhavani, you have to understand, to be used one with Yada and once with Tada. Okay? Yadyaham evam Bhavani, Tada Kshamaha Bhavani. Okay? So the second Bhavani is in the sense of I will become kind of a thing. Now there is an interesting verse which actually presents in Shiva Purana. There is a small verse connecting the third quarter, speaking to what is being described in the third quarter. It is just Iti Devah Pura Pritaha,
Iti Devah Pura Pritaha, Iti Devah Pura Pritaha,
Satyena Haraye Param,
Satyena Haraye Param, Satyena Haraye Param,
Dadau Svasamyamatyartham,
Dadau Svasamyamatyartham, Dadau Svasamyamatyartham,
Devasanghe cha pashyati,
Devasanghe cha pashyati, Devasanghe cha pashyati.
Pashyati Devasanghe means the Devas were seen. So what happened is sort of described here. So Pritaha, so he became much pleased. Who became much pleased? Shiva became much pleased. Much pleased with whom? With Vishnu. Why? Satyena. See, iti devaha pura pritaha satyena. See, satyena pritaha. What did he do? Haraye param. See, haraye. See, not Brahmane. Haraye param dadau svasamyam. See, svasamyam dadau. He gave his own equal status. Dadau svasamyam atyartham devasanghe cha pashyati. So this is a description that we find in Shiva Purana. So the point here is, see, Bhagavad Pada, when he composed this Sivanandalahari, so he alludes to the details of the descriptions that are found in various Puranas. So there are 3 episodes which are listed here, see, sort of touched upon without mentioning the names. The first is Rama, the second is Agastya, and the third is the story of Brahma and Vishnu going up and down. Brahma and Vishnu going up and down. See, of course I can take the next verse, but before that, maybe I'll just, since there are only 10 minutes, see, I will do another interesting verse which is connected with this, so which gives a very powerful message. Before that, I wanted to say one more thing here. This verse that we just now read, 88, is composed in a meter called Vamshastha. You will see 11 syllables here, 11 or 12. Yada kritam bho nidhi setu bandhanaha. 12 syllables per quarter. This is called Vamshastha Vritta. And the definition of this is Vadanti Vamshastha Vilam Jatau Jarau. Repeat. Vadanti Vamshastha Vilam Jatau Jarau. Vadanti Vamshastha Vilam Jatau Jarau. Jatau Jarau, which means Jagana, Tagana, then Jagana and Ragana. Okay, so these are the 4 ganas which constitute what is called Vamshastha Vritta, and there are 12 syllables. Vadanti Vamshastha Vilam Jatau Jarau. Let me tell you another verse that came to my mind. That is a very important verse which has a very powerful message. It is connected with the first quarter of this. The first quarter we find the Setu Bandhanam. Okay, the Setu Bandhanam. The Setu Bandhanam was performed by Rama. This is one of the major tasks. That which sounds impossible has been done. So there is an anecdote which is connected with Bhoja. So Bhoja was a king, brilliant person. Bhoja Raja, in one of the verses, that is what I remember. I read it long back. Somebody told and immediately I committed to memory. It's a very nice message. That verse in the second quarter, it describes this charita, Setu Bandhana. So the story goes something like this. There is this parampara rajya will come. No? So you king, and then son, king, son, king, son. This is how it usually gets transferred, the lineage of power. This Bhoja's father, this is the kind of story that I heard. This Bhoja's father so had a premature death. When this Bhoja was a small boy. Now, there were others who were interested in the family to rule the country. So they thought that they will play a trick and they design a ploy to finish this Bhoja. If this Bhoja is finished, then somebody has to take over. We can sit on the throne. This is the kind of plan that they had. This Bhoja came to know of this somehow. So he was supposed to be taken somewhere. And having known that such a trick is being played, this Bhoja said, I would like to compose a verse and give it to that person before I go there. So he is supposed to have composed this verse. I will tell the verse now. Okay. So then the story ends like this. The moment that fellow read the verse, he felt so ashamed. And then he dropped the plan. And then so he apologized for doing this. So that is the verse. Mandhata cha mahipatihi.
Mandhata cha mahipatihi. Mandhata cha mahipatihi.
Kritayuga lankara bhuto gataha. Kritayuga lankara bhuto gataha. Kritayuga lankara bhuto gataha. Seturyena mahodadhau virachitaha.
Mahodadhau virachitaha. Mahodadhau virachitaha.
Now you see the connection? Seturyena mahodadhau virachitaha. Vasau dashasyantakaha. Vasau dashasyantakaha. Vasau dashasyantakaha. Anye chapi.
Anye chapi. Anye chapi.
Yudhishthira prabhritayaha.
Yudhishthira prabhritayaha. Yudhishthira prabhritayaha.
Prabhritayaha. Yata divam bhupate. Yata divam bhupate. Yata divam bhupate. Naikenapi.
Naikenapi. Naikenapi.
Samangata vasumati.
Samangata vasumati. Samangata vasumati.
Nunam tvaya yasyati.
Nunam tvaya yasyati.
Nunam tvaya yasyati. Normally, people have great kind of affection towards what they possess. So in order to make this fellow think. See, the kind of project he was trying to design, whether it is worthwhile doing or not. Bhoja sends this message. He says, he lists out 3 distinct people, the most powerful people. The most powerful people, see, this is anyway Kali Yuga. So Krita Yuga, we start with what is called Mandhata. See, Mandhata cha Mahipatihi. Mahipatihi means you are a sole monarch for the whole world. So that person, Krita Yuga Alankara Bhuto Gataha. So he was Alankara for Krita Yuga, but then he has gone. Mandhata cha Mahipatihi. Krita Yuga Alankara Bhuto Gataha. In fact, I was reminded of this verse for 2 reasons. Once I read this, and just 2 days before, I was traveling with another person, okay, in car for about 6 hours. So then during this trip, so he was saying that I have this. So I bought a house in Hyderabad, I bought a house there, I bought a house here. And so on, he was just saying. And then, where will we live? See, so you have 2, 3 houses, where are you going to live? So I built it with great thing. And then he himself was saying, so now I have come and settled here, okay, in Hyderabad. So I don't know what to do with, so etc. he was saying. So then I was just reminded of this verse and then said, whatever you have, if you just give it, okay, then at least you can go peacefully, happily, okay. So if you just keep it, then you keep worrying what to do. So now he is saying, see that you want to acquire the whole Prithvi, okay, he is sending a message. The one who was actually owning the whole Prithvi in Krita Yuga, he went up, he did not carry the Prithvi with you, with him. Krita Yuga Lankara Bhuto Gataha. Then he says, Sveturyena Mahodadhau Virachitaha. The one who performed the task which is generally not accomplishable. Mahodadhau Yena Setuhu Virachitaha. Kvasau, where is that man? Who is that person? Dashasyantakaha. Dashasya refers to Ravana, the one who has 10 heads. Asyam means Mukham. Okay? Where is that person who slayed the 10-headed fellow and who was able to build the bridge across the ocean? Okay. Seturyena mahodadhau virachitaha. Kvasau dashasyantakaha. Then he says, leave these 2 people. Anye chavi yudhishthira prabhritayaha. Other great kings like Yudhishthira, okay, all those great things, all of them went to heaven. Anye chapi yudhishthira prabhritayaha yata divam. Divam yataha. They have gone to the heavens. They went to upper above. Bhupate, O king. So he is just saying. So the one who is aspiring to become the king. Or maybe you can even take the story, I don't know exactly. So he might have for a moment, for some time, see, he would have ascended the throne because he was a Balaka. Bhoja was a Balaka. Someone has to, it is like this. So somebody who is just given the seat of the Prime Minister for some time. Okay. So this fellow wants to finish the potential Prime Minister. See, it is like this. This is the general tendency. So he is saying, E Bhupate, Anye Chapi Yudhishthira Prabhritayaha, Yata Divam Bhupate. Then he says, Naike Napi Samangata Vasumati. This Vasumati means Prithvi. See, this Prithvi did not go with them. Naike Napi Samangata Vasumati. See, since you are having such a liking for this Prithvi and you want to own this, I believe that this Prithvi will come with you. Okay? Which refuse to go with others, I believe it will come with you. Okay? So that is the sarcasm with which he ends the verse. So this sarcastic verse So really changed this attitude. Really changed the attitude of that fellow. And that fellow, he apologized for trying to cheat Bhoja and then try to finish. So I said this because the Seturyena Mahodadhau Virachitaha. See, that is the same description you find here. See, Yada Kritambho Nidhi Setu Bandhanaha Yasambho Nidhau Bandhanam Yena Kritam. See, Setu Bandhanam Yena Kritam. See, now read this. Yada Kritambho Nidhi Setu Bandhanaha Karasthaladha Kritaparvatadhipa Bhavani te Langhita Padmasambhavaha Tada Shivachastava Bhavanakshamaha Te Shiva Archastava Bhavanakshamaha See, Te Archastava Bhavanakshamaha. So Kshamaha, see, Kshamaha, see, the one who possesses the potential to do. Archastava Bhavanakshamaha Bhavani. What you have to understand is, in the previous verse, he said, see, Tava Padambuja Bhaktimeva Dehi. So I will not be able to offer anything more. Bhakti is something which is what you have to bless me with. If at all I have to do, then maybe I may have to acquire these kind of things. So then only I can. So that is the kind of a thing. So Bhagavan is presented in very many forms to us. So this is a brilliant way of developing Shiva Bhakti by recollecting various episodes that have all been described in various places. So it is a great service that is done by Bhagavad Pada for us. So we need to really appreciate and cherish these verses. And when we chant, we will be able to recollect all these things. Okay, we will stop here and then we will continue in the next class. Om Sarve Pisukhinas Santu Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Makaschid Dukha Bhakkavetu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.